What if I told you there's a formula, a real mathematical equation that could let you trade in your desk job for a life of freedom, not in your 60s, but decades earlier? So today we're going to crack the code to financial independence and figure out how you can actually use it.
I know it sounds like a dream, right? But for a growing number of people, it's not some fantasy. It's a calculated plan. And look, this isn't about winning the lottery or some lucky break. It's about rewriting the rules of work and retirement using some surprisingly simple math. So here's our escape plan for today. First, we'll talk about something called the middle class trap. Then we'll get into the solution, this thing called the FIRE movement. After that, we'll get practical and calculate your freedom number, map out how to crush debt, and finally get into the right mindset to actually see this whole thing through.
A lot of us are stuck in this loop. You work hard, you earn a bit more, so you spend a bit more, and somehow you end up right back where you started, just with more stuff. It's that classic treadmill feeling, just running and running for 40 years. That's the traditional path. But what if there was a totally different route? Okay, so take a look at this. The difference is just stark. The traditional path is a 40-year marathon, saving maybe 10 or 15% along the way. The FIRE approach, it's more like an intense, focused sprint for 15 to 20 years. But it's fueled by a massive savings rate. We're talking 50, 60, even 70%. It's a total shift from just relying on time to relying on aggressive saving and the power of compounding. So how do you actually get off that treadmill? Well, the answer lies in a strategy that's known as FIRE. And this isn't just some vague advice. It's a structured, almost mathematical lifestyle movement.
At its heart, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. Now, the retire early part is what grabs all the headlines, but honestly, the financial independence piece, that's the real game changer. It means you get to a point where you no longer have to work for money. Instead, your money starts working for you.
And here are the core principles, the real engine behind the whole movement. It's all built on a few key ideas: saving a huge chunk of your income, getting rid of debt like it's your job, consistently investing your money, and eventually building income streams that flow in whether you're working or not.
All right, enough theory. Let's get practical. It's time to talk numbers. The very first step on this journey is to figure out your exact destination. This isn't some vague dream. It's a specific number, your freedom number.
So just stop for a second and ask yourself this. What's the number? The amount of money that would let you walk away from your job tomorrow and just live your life comfortably without ever having to worry about a paycheck again. It might sound like a huge number, but let's break it down. In the world of finance, this magic number is called your corpus. The best way to think about it is like your own personal money-making machine. It's a pot of money so large that the interest it generates is enough to cover all your living expenses, pretty much forever.
So how do you figure it out? You're going to love how simple this is. The FIRE community uses a brilliant little shortcut, the 25x rule. Step 1, figure out exactly how much money you spend in a whole year. Step 2, multiply that number by 25. That's it. That's your target.
For example, let's say your family's annual expenses add up to 8 lakh rupees. You take that 8 lakhs, you multiply it by 25, and that lands you at 2 crore rupees. See? Suddenly, this massive, intimidating goal becomes real and tangible. It's tied directly to your lifestyle. Okay, so once you know your number, the very next job is to clear the path ahead of you. Think about it. You can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, and you definitely can't build wealth when you're drowning in debt. And let's be really clear about this. High-interest debt, we're talking credit cards, personal loans, is a financial emergency. It is literally an anchor dragging your financial ship to the bottom. Every single rupee you pay in interest is a rupee that you can't invest in your own future. You have to cut it loose. So here's a super practical strategy for bigger loans, like a home loan. Every year, just increase your monthly payment by 10%. It sounds small, but that simple step can shave years off your loan. Then you take all the money you're saving on interest and you immediately channel it into an investment, like an equity mutual fund, to start building that corpus. And this is where the real magic starts to happen. When you invest consistently, even with small amounts, you unleash this incredible force called compounding. As you can see here, the growth starts slow. You almost don't notice it. But then, over time, your earnings start earning their own money. And suddenly, the growth just takes off. It becomes exponential.
But here's the catch. Compounding isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a reward for being disciplined.
And it requires one crucial ingredient more than anything else: patience. You've got to give your money time to do its thing.
This brings us to our final and, honestly, maybe the most important step. Because having the right formula is one thing, but having the right mindset to actually stick with it, well, that's what separates the people who succeed from those who don't. I absolutely love this analogy. When it comes to your money, you want to be Rahul Dravid, the wall. Patient, steady, reliable, totally focused on the long game. You do not want to be Virender Sehwag. Exciting and aggressive, sure, but way too unpredictable. Trading is for thrills. Investing is for building real, lasting wealth. And this piece of wisdom from veteran investor S. Naran just hits the nail on the head. Wealth isn't built overnight. The goal isn't to get rich quick next year. It's to be truly wealthy in 25 years. Chasing fast money is almost always the fastest way to lose it. So really, it all boils down to these 3 simple rules. 1, don't let greed push you into risky moves when everyone's euphoric. 2, don't let fear scare you into selling everything when the market dips. And 3, above all else, don't be in a hurry. And there you have it. That's the entire formula in a nutshell. It's not some complicated secret, right? Calculate your freedom number with the 25x rule. Attack your debt to free up your money. And then invest consistently with the steady patience of a marathon runner, not a sprinter. Look, the path to financial independence can feel huge, I get it, but it always begins with a single, simple action. Maybe for you, it's just calculating your annual expenses tonight, or maybe it's making one small extra payment on a loan. The formula is right here. The only question left is, what's your first step going to be?